Our next story comes from the well-heard storyteller in Belfast, all the way from the People's Republic of Cork originally, Richard O'Leary. Take it away, Richard.
I've been asked when was the first time I performed a story. And it was in Cork in the 1970s at primary school. And it was a Christmas story, the Christmas story. That was when I wrote, starred in, and directed our primary school's Christmas nativity play. I was aged 9. Our school was a small rural Irish school, just 3 teachers and 3 classrooms. And in my class, there were only 12 children, 6 boys and 6 girls. And from the 6 girls, I had to select one girl for the role of Mary. And the girl I chose to play Mary, her real life name was Mary. So even as a 9-year-old, I was concerned with authenticity. I cast myself as Joseph, Mary's husband. And this was as close in life as I ever came to getting married to a woman. My favorite scene in our Christmas play was the scene when the happy couple, Mary and Joseph, arrived at the inn and the innkeeper tells them, "There's no room in the inn." As a child, I suspected that the innkeeper's refusal was done as an act of social disapproval. We performed our nativity play in our own classroom, and the other kids, they all loved it. Our school had never before attempted to put on a Christmas play. So much so that my teacher arranged for us to perform it for each of the other 2 classrooms. That was when the real drama began. One of the other 6 girls, Margaret, she burst into tears. No, it wasn't that she was overwhelmed by the quality of our performance. My teacher took me aside and explained that Margaret, she wanted to be Mary. This competition for the role of Mary was very awkward for me. I didn't have a degree in child psychology. So my teacher persuaded me for the second performance to replace Mary and to cast Margaret as Mary. This did not seem to me like a good artistic decision, but it did stop Margaret from crying. That said, even I felt self-conscious turning up at the inn for the second night in a row with a different female partner. Finally, we got to perform for the 3rd classroom, but not before Nora started to cry. She too wanted to be Mary. So I fired Margaret, cast Nora, returned to the inn with a different wife for a 3rd night in a row. Was it any wonder that the innkeeper told me, "There's no room at the inn"? That was probably the first known evidence in Cork in the 1970s of the practice of polygamy. The tears and the drama around the casting of Mary put me off directing. I did, however, continue to write. And in 1976, still in primary school and age 12, I wrote in my copybook an essay on the subject of Christmas. This copybook, with my name on the front, Richard O'Leary, 6th class, and my essay titled Christmas, begins, "We all enjoy Christmas. The build up to it is exciting." I wrote built with a T, and my teachers corrected in red pen, replacing built with build. See, in Cork pronunciation, we didn't always distinguish the letter T from the letter D. That explains my spelling mistake. Now, in case you're expecting an exciting Christmas story from the 12-year-old me, don't hold your breath. My essay has such exciting lines as, "I got a set of books and a horn for my bike." And there were signs in my essay of the growing encroachment of religion with the line, "I like the Mass on Christmas morning." Now, maybe I should not have written, "I like the Mass on Christmas morning," because that only fueled the regular prophecies of my father. My father would say to me, "Richard, one day you'll be a priest." It seemed that in contrast to my primary school days of polygamy, I was now destined for celibacy. By the age of 13, my father was telling me, Richard, one day you'll be a bishop. I looked at my dad and I thought, one should be careful for what one wishes. My father had so convinced himself that I had a religious vocation that age 13, I was sent to be educated at Cork's Catholic Junior Seminary, called St. Finbarr's Seminary. And at St. Finbarr's, in the run-up to Christmas 1978, one of the priests, Father Hayes, he said to me, Richard O'Leary. Yes, Father. Richard, you'll be a cardinal. A cardinal? That's fantastic, Father. What does a cardinal have to do? You just have to be present with the Pope. This Pope was Pope Hadrian VII, and he was the central character in the St. Finbarr's Christmas play. The play was called Hadrian VII. I still have the text of the play. It's about a fictitious English Pope. I mean, he had to be fictitious. Who ever heard of an English Pope? In the play, I was cast as a cardinal bishop. Cardinal Richard O'Leary, aide to the Pope, and me from Cork, and only 14. Maybe my dad had been too modest in what I might achieve. I can still remember the night of the play. For the performance, I got to dress up as a cardinal. And there's a scene where I'm on stage next to the Pope's bedroom when we hear a single loud bang! Gunshot. We cardinals, we rushed into the Pope's bedroom, discovered that the Pope had been shot. So there I was on stage with all these witnesses with a dead Pope in the bedroom. That was not a comfortable place to be. And for some reason, I felt personally responsible. And then I remembered the text of the play. It says here in the text that the murderer of the Pope is a Protestant from Ulster. The murderer is an Ulster Protestant. St. Finbarr's didn't have any Ulstermen. And as a seminary, certainly didn't have any Protestants. So I couldn't be blamed for the murder of the Pope. That night, in Christmas week, 1978, I resolved I didn't want to be a cardinal. I didn't even want to be a priest. But I could rest easy and enjoy a happy Christmas.
Oh, Richard, true to form, true to form. Oh, God. You would have made a lovely priest, Richard.
Well, in that play, it was a very minor role because I cannot act at all. So I had no speaking lines. But apparently, when made up, I looked and was described by an actor who was actually in attendance as a very wizened cardinal. So I certainly looked the part.
You are. Not just a lovely priest, but a wizened cardinal. My God. And who would have thought that you would eventually become a Protestant in Ulster after having that inauspicious introduction to Protestants from Ulster?
Yeah, if you live long enough, anything is possible.